All right. Hello. Let me just get this situated. Okay. Welcome to today's strength training. And I am in full yard work gear today. Just a disclaimer. Yesterday and today are kind of those like heavy hitting early days. Get the yard in some kind of order before it gets completely out of control. Yeah, that's been our last 48 hours. Plus caregiving and everything else going on. So I'm just rushing in here with dirt on my pants, and here we go. So as I always say before any of our classes, you join this physical activity at your own risk as you do any other physical activity that you engage in. If you are brand new to this kind of workout, then I hope that you have gotten clearance from your doctor. That's always a good thing to do if you are just getting started on your fitness journey. If you're not used to doing a lot of physical exercise. And, the other thing to say, and this is for everybody, no matter beginners to advanced, you always want to be mindful of your energy level as you come into this. So if you did not sleep very well last night, if you have a lot of stress in your life at the moment, then that means that this may not be the best time to push fully to your limit. So you can always sort of just concentrate more on your technique and your form in class if you go ahead with the class rather than concentrating on trying to really push to your limit. The other option you have, of course, is to hit pause on the class, go for a little walk, something like that, something that can relieve stress, but still move your body, move your heart, get your heart rate up a little bit. So I just always want to present those options and say, take care of yourself. It's a long journey, our journey to physical fitness and longevity. It's a lifelong journey, all right? And it's about showing up for yourself in the aggregate, knowing that not every day is going to be the perfect day. So with that said, today, what we are doing, we're gonna get into, once we get into our heavyweight lifting, we're gonna be doing single arm rows. So we're gonna be working the lat, bicep, backs of the shoulders, tops of the shoulders, and the single leg squats today, or like a lunge squat. So you are going to need a few different weights. As always, we start with a lightweight and we work up to a heavyweight. And to just go ahead and put it out there now, lightweight is something that you can lift anywhere from 10 to 12 up to 15 repetitions and still have plenty of repetitions left, 7 to 8 repetitions left. So based on your perceived effort and strength, that's how we judge light. Medium is, okay, I could do 8 to 10 repetitions, and I know I still have about 4 or 5 left. And then we'll move into the heavyweight, which is we're working towards a 5 repetition maximum. That's the standard that we use in these classes at this time. That meaning that you are working toward your max. So you want to be lifting to about 85% of your capacity. So what does that mean? That means you could do 5 repetitions and have about 1 or 2 left. So you don't want to you don't want to carry something that's so heavy that by that 5th round you're losing your form. You want to be able, but you want to have something that's heavy enough that you really only have 1 or 2 repetitions left before you start to lose that form. And if you say, Sarah, I don't know what heavy to light to me is, trust me, you will begin to learn that in this course. And this is actually an evidence-based training tool. It's been scientifically studied. There's a lot of data supporting it and basically supporting our perceived effort as a good judge for the level of weight we need to achieve our goal. Our goal, whether it's hypertrophy, meaning muscle growth, or general strength. So we're going for strength, which can also include some muscle hypertrophy. And we are using our rate of perceived effort to judge that progressive loading from light to heavy. And the more you do this, the more you'll get confident in your ability to judge. And if you're just not sure, what I say is always start really light, because you can always add more weight and work your way up to that confidence level. Okay, it's part of the process. So let's get started with some mobility work. We're going to start with the mobility ball, and we're going to roll our necks. So we're going to go down one side of the spine, starting at the top, right here underneath the skull, rolling it down. And then we're going to do the other side. And I apologize. Let me get my timer on here so that I can keep track of our time. If you have your timer, you're welcome to use it instead of paying attention to me keeping time. And in fact, I do recommend that if you don't have a timer. I just use this one on my phone, but it's something good to have even when you're following this guided practice, because you may need a little more or a little less time than what I'm providing. So, all right, I have my display set so that my clock face will not disappear. Stopwatch going. All right, so you can do this standing against the wall, or you can do it lying down. And let's go ahead and get started with 60 seconds on one side. Again, just starting up here at the base of the skull and just giving ourselves a good little massage on just one side. I usually start right and then go left. We're going to do about 60 seconds on this side. So starting at the top, and then I'm just going to kind of gently make my way down. Pausing if I hit a really tense spot or a spot that just needs some additional attention. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then carry on. We got about 10 more seconds on this side. Okay, it's been forever there, but let's go ahead and switch to the other side if you haven't already. Giving it 60 seconds here. On the left side is really enjoying this today. It's really tight today. You may find, like I do, that kind of your tension moves from side to side. But usually, I think for most of us, one side is usually a little more sensitive, a little more tense than the other. Just speaks to our asymmetrical beingness. All right, and last seconds here on the left side. So hopefully you've moved your way down your neck towards your shoulders. Oh, yeah. All right. So next we're gonna roll the thoracic spine. So that's basically, I'm gonna just roll over on my side to show you. This is kind of the bottom of my sports bra here, the bottom of my rib cage. So I'm just gonna take the ball not on my spine, but just to the side. And we're gonna roll starting from the bottom, and we're gonna move our way up to our neck. And that looks like, if you haven't done this with me before, it looks like just placing the ball with your hand behind you. You kind of roll your weight to one side and then rolling your weight back onto the ball. And I just tuck this free hand here under my low back, roll onto the ball and take a breath in and a breath out. And then roll off the ball. And I use my hand to just roll it up a little bit, like I'm going up a ladder. If you imagine your ribs as a ladder, you're just taking the ball up each rung, getting a good massage along the thoracic spine here. Ooh, and I just hit that spot. That's always really. And this one I don't actually keep time on. I just keep going until I have gotten up to kind of my neckline, just below my neckline. You can really use that exhale to help try to guide the body to release, letting go of tension anywhere you feel it in the body. My hands in particular, maybe from all of the yard work we've been doing. And relax a little more my grip. So I'm letting go of my grip, letting go of my face. Anywhere I feel tension as I work this ball up. And then we've got about one more spot here on this side, and then I'll switch to the other, starting the same way. So whenever you're ready, you can just move starting on the opposite side of your spine. You're down at the lower ladder rung, lower rib. Just take your time, make your way up. So this part of our spine, our backs tends to be pretty tight for most of us. We tighten up as we age for sure, and the thoracic spine, the vertebrae that run from the neck, neckline down through the rib cage, it's the most mobile part of our spine, including our neck. It's intended to be able to rotate, to turn, to help us turn side to side, which supports us in any kind of locomotion that we're doing, walking, running. And because we get tight in this part of our spine, just with repetitive movement or even just lots of sitting, age, then that contributes to us losing mobility overall in the body. And it can place strain on the lower back when the upper back is tight and not able to move and flex and rotate as freely. Then that places strain on the lower back and the hips. And so you can see why a lot of us may not feel pain in our upper back, but because of or at least in part due to our loss of mobility up here, we experience pain in our lower regions, particularly in the low back or the hips, or even on down. And the wisdom traditions say, as above, so below. So almost finished with this side here. And if you've completed your thoracic spine, both sides from top to bottom, then you can go ahead and start on one hip cuff. So we're gonna just take the ball now to our hip cuff. On this area, kind of up between the top of the hip bone and the insertion point where the leg inserts into the hip. And you can use the foam roller for this too. I like to sometimes, I don't know, just depending on, the ball tends to get into some more deep, more specific spaces. So that's what I'm calling for. That's what my body's calling for today. So I'm gonna go with the ball, but you can also use the foam roller and you can cover a lot of tissue at once with the foam roller. So either one is good. So join me if you haven't already. And again, we just do, when we're in a crunch for time, 60 seconds is enough. Of course, it feels good and we could do this a lot longer. But if you are just looking to be efficient and impact your soft tissue to help create some mobility, some loosening in the body, And then 60 seconds in one, area is enough to impact, a general area there. So we hit our hip cuff because it's hitting our IT band, it's hitting the low back, it's hitting even down into the front of the thigh. It's a really efficient way to create mobility around, this key joint here, our hip. And I'm running up to right about 60 seconds on my right side, so I'm gonna flip and do the left side. Okay. 60 seconds here. Again, just using that breath to navigate across the spots that feel sensitive, that feel tight. Last seconds here. This is taking us about 10 minutes. This is a really good thing to do as a warm up before you go for do your cardiovascular work. All right, that's 60 seconds that side. So you can do this at any point in throughout your week, before or after your cardiovascular work. Really, it's best to do it before you move because the soft tissue work, you want to move your joints after you've created space there. Otherwise, you're not going to maintain any real benefit. So speaking to that, next, let's do a little stability work here. So you're going to be on your back, and you can watch me for a moment here. Ways to make sure I can extend my leg here. So I'm lying on I'm lying on my back, and I want to check in first here and make sure that my low back is not pressing down into the mat, that it's in kind of a neutral position. Then I'm going to extend, let's see, I'm going to do my left leg long and my right arm. So opposite arm and leg long. And this is what this looks like. So keeping that low back in that neutral space, I'm going to start to activate my core. I'm going to draw my low belly in, and I'm going to draw the front of my ribs together and press the back of my ribs down into the floor to lift myself up. And we're going to lift arm and leg, and we're going to draw some little squares here. So I'm going to go out, up, in, down, out, up, in, down. Then I'm going to reverse that, go up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in. Keep pulling those ribs together, pressing the back of the ribs down, keeping this low back neutral. That's the real challenge here. And then relax down and switch to the other side. So go ahead and set up to join me. Get onto your back. Take a moment to just let your hands be underneath your low back and ensure that you are not pressing your low back into the mat. Then go ahead and extend your right leg out and your left arm behind you. And you can keep your right hand behind your low back if you'd like to help with this. So now you're going to start to draw the low belly in, start to feel the front of the ribs like thread together and the back of the ribs press into the mat to lift up, and begin to draw your squares. And I don't care if you go down, up, out, in, down, up, that doesn't matter which direction. And it's good maybe to switch both. So do one direction, switch, do another. And we just want to do this until you start to feel fatigue. All right. This is just we're just activating the core, some of the core deep muscles that we're going to need for this heavy lifting. So once you start to feel fatigue, mine usually shows up first in my neck because it's so tight. Then stop. Take a moment, a breath, just to rest. And then bend both knees and start to make your way to the other side. So this time I've got my left leg long and my left hand behind my low back. My right arm is extended back over my head. And then whenever you're ready, maybe use an exhale to draw the low belly in, draw the front of the ribs together, lift up, and then begin your squares. on this side. And you want to feel that leg and arm reaching long out of the joints, kind of relaxed, not a whole lot of tension there. Lots of strength happening in the front of the body, across the front of the ribs, drawing that belly button in towards the spine. And then once you start to feel some fatigue, soften. Again, we're not trying to push toward our edge here, guys. We're just activating the core and support us as we get into a more difficult work here. Learning what it feels like to activate that core and still keep our spine in a neutral position, our low back in a neutral position. We're also getting that cross lateral movement in the body that's really important. So this is helping with a lot of stuff. Let's do each side one more time. So when you're ready, go ahead and switch sides again. Begin at any point. Yeah, this is just really good. Really good stability work. Core activation work. Allowing the cross lateral movement pattern kind of turn on in our nervous system. Stabilizing that spine while we're doing a lot of movement with our big joints. Rest at the end when you're ready. And then one more time, we're going to do the last side. So just go ahead and get started with this last side whenever you're ready. Again, using your exhale to lift up, drawing that low belly in, front of the ribs threading together, back of the ribs broad, pressing into the mat. And just letting your leg and arm move as loosely as possible, feeling them lengthening out of the joints. My neck is quite tight today. My neck gets tired before anything else for me in particular with this, so. Yeah. All right. Oh, so wrapping up that. So we're gonna do some sprint interval along with some weighted work just to begin to warm up for our big movements that we're gonna do, our heavy movements that we're gonna do. And I'm saving a lot of time to do them because we're doing single arm and leg. So we're isolating each side of the body. So it's gonna take us a little while to get through those heavier weighted compound movements. So we're just gonna do a quick interval here. Move this guy. Okay. So actually, take that back. I want my little box step. So if you've got something like this, this is great for doing what I'd like us to do, which are just a wide leg jump. Now, if you have the CrossFit box like this, if that's all you've got, that's fine. It's gonna be a little harder actually, but you can use that instead. And then we're gonna need a weight. So I'll just demonstrate what we're gonna be doing here in this interval. We're gonna be starting on the ground and toes tucked under or flat foot, depending on what feels more comfortable to you, okay? So if you can tuck your toes under, you're gonna get a little more power out of your glutes for this. So I'm using a 15-pound weight here to demonstrate this. So this is what this looks like. It's a hip thrust and a press overhead. Hip thrust, press overhead. So to bring my hips up, I'm pushing down into my feet and I'm squeezing my glutes, and that's what's bringing me up. I'm thrusting my hips forward by squeezing my glutes. Low belly's pulled in, front of my ribs threaded together, just like we did on the floor just now. And then it's a simple press up. You see my elbows are kind of right alongside my head here, and down and back. So you're gonna do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and come up and 1 and 2 and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. All right, so 4 to 6. Let's say 3 to 6 jumps, depending on where you are. If you're a brand new beginner, you can do 3, great. So again, if you don't have this, you don't have any steps, you don't need it. You don't have to have it. And if you are just beginning, if you're just getting started with me, then you can try just doing. And you see my legs are wide here. So that's why I say this is a better step for this than the CrossFit box, which is going to force you to keep your feet closer together. But this is fine if this is what you have access to. All right. So, like I said, I was using a 15-pound weight there. This is not about heavy weight. It's just about beginning to get the body used to carrying some weight. But you want something that's light enough that you can move relatively fast. Now you saw that you still want to break this movement down to hip thrust and then a press. So you're not doing it all at once. You're not thrusting and pressing all at once. You thrust, press, down, down, thrust, press, down, down. All right. But you want to be able to move through this relatively quickly. Reason being, we're just trying to get our heart rate up and include this in the sprint interval. So you do 4 presses on the knees and then 3 to 6 jumps, either on the flat floor, on the low step, or on the CrossFit box. All right, so just judge based on, your experience level at this point. Beginners don't need a box. If you're more advanced, then I hope you're going for at least the low step here. All right, so let's get set up, get your weight. All right, and let's get started in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it going. Start with your thrusts. Again, pushing down into your feet, pushing up with your hips, using your glutes, squeezing together to thrust your hips up. And then it's just a simple press overhead. That weight's coming down, right back down, right into your chest, and then right overhead. And after you've done 4, set the weight aside and go straight into your box jump. Getting at least 3, and if you can, up to 6. And you notice that I'm moving not like, I'm moving fast enough that I was challenging my breath there. So base your pace. Push yourself to a challenging rate here, knowing that you are, if not already finished, almost done. Okay. Yep. And then let's take a rest. So for about 60 seconds. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Now this is the time when, sorry, quick water break. You can judge your weight. You can go up or down. If you found that not challenging at all, you need to add a little more weight. If you were like, ooh, I'm struggling to kind of move fast through this, maybe come down in your weight. All right, we got about 15 more seconds. So if you're not already on the floor, go ahead and get yourself down on the floor, get your weight in position, and let's begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Again, start using your glutes, thrusting the hips forward and the strength of your back as you press that weight up overhead. Remembering to engage your core muscles, just like you did when we were lying on the ground, doing our stability work. And then as soon as you're done, place the weight down and get up and start your jumps. Going as quickly as you can so that you can get all as many as you can, at least up to 6 jumps. All right. Good, so we got one more round. Let's rest again for 60 seconds, starting right now, 60 seconds. And again, this is why having your own timer going is a good idea, because if you need more rest than that 60 seconds, you can take it. And again, like if you didn't get a lot of sleep last night, if you're just showing up to this and you know, you're tired. If you are new to this training, there's just a lot of reasons why you may want to give yourself a little more time. There's no harm in that, of course. No harm at all. Even for experienced movers, taking some time in between your repetitions is a good thing, because that just means you're going to be recovered more and you can push more when you get into your next round. All right, so here we go. Let's get into position and begin in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready, go. Hit it, hit it. Squeeze those glutes, draw that belly in, thread the front of the ribs together. Feel the power moving from the back of the body, the glutes and the upper back as you're pressing that weight up. And once you've completed, again, get right into your box jumps. Remember, this is the last round, so push yourself. All right, great work, you guys. We should all be finishing up about now. So take a minute, catch your breath, catch a little sip of water if you need to. So we're going straight into our final compound movement. So I know we've gotten there kind of fast today. That's good. We're going to need that time. So while you are taking a break, resting from your sprint interval there, now move this out of my way. I'm going to show you the single arm rows that we're going to do. So again, you're going to start with a lightweight, then you're going to move to a medium weight, then you're going to move to a heavy weight. And so we've got 4 rounds here. And if you are experienced enough to have a pretty good idea what that heavyweight is, then you want to try to let those last 2 rounds be at that top line weight. If you're still figuring it out, you can jump up 4 levels, meaning light, medium, medium to heavy, heavy. Okay, so again, let me say that again. So for beginners, you're still getting adjusted to lifting heavy weight. Start with a lightweight, go to a medium heavy, then go to a heavy, okay? The last 2 rounds are gonna be 5 repetitions or 6 or 7 if you're using that medium heavy weight. It's just gonna have to be depending upon how you feel in that round. So if you are a more advanced mover, you've been used to carrying some weight, then you want to go light, medium, and then the last 2 rounds should be your heavy weight if possible. Now, even as an experienced mover, sometimes if we do a movement, compound movement that you haven't done in a long time or you've never done, then you might be in that place of going, well, I don't know quite what heavy is going to be for me. So just know you can always adjust as we go through the rounds, and you're going to get a sense as you go through the rounds as to what heavy means for you. So again, light is going to be, you can pull 10 rows and still have 7 or 8 left in you. Medium is going to be, you can pull 8 rows and still be able to do, let's say, about 12. Then the heavy is going to be, we're going down into our 5 repetitions with about 2 more left. So you can do 5 rows, and you know that if you had to, you could do 1 to 2 more, okay? So that's the range we're working with. Now, let me say this last thing too, for my true beginners, have never done any resistance training. I want you to stick with a medium and heavy weight. I'm sorry, a light and a medium weight. Don't need you to work towards that heavy just yet. For you, this is still about learning the technique. It's still, you're gonna be building strength. If you've never done resistance training, you're gonna be building strength no matter what weight you're carrying. All right, so what you're gonna do for those true beginners, first time resistance trainers, resistance training folks, you're gonna do 2 rounds in light and you're gonna do 2 rounds in medium, okay? So this is what it looks like. I've talked a lot, so you've had plenty of rest, so as soon as I show you this, we're gonna get started. So I am in a lunge, and the tricky part about this position is just making sure you are in a good position. So I'm pressing down into the back foot, and I'm pressing down into my front foot, and go ahead and try this with me without the weight, just that sense of getting your feet in place and your hips in place. So as I lunge forward, I'm just gonna lean some weight elbow to knee or elbow to thigh here. I'm broadening through my feet here. That's helping me keep my balance. I'm drawing my low belly in. And I am again gonna feel the front of my ribs coming together. In the back of my ribs, you see I'm actually rounding a little bit through the upper back here. So this is the position. So part of the exercise here is the balance required. And then you're doing this 1-arm row means you have to resist that desire to torque and twist. We're gonna stabilize the spine, keep it nice and still, and isolate the movement to the elbow and the shoulder. So what? Boom, up, and up, and up, and up, okay? So that's what it looks like, and as slow as you can on the down. I really should be demonstrating that. A quick pause and as slow as you can on the down, okay? So we're gonna do both sides. So take a moment to experiment on both sides, just getting into the feet position. So switch sides, whatever position you were just trialing, go ahead and switch sides. Again, find out what it feels like to get both feet nice and broad on the floor. You're spreading through your feet here. Hips are facing the front, not open. Hips are facing the front. You can just kneel down and place that elbow here and just take a moment to feel again that drawing in of the lower belly and that rounding in the upper back, that stable support you're giving on the spine. All right, so this is a challenging posture, and if you are a true beginner, never done any strength training, any kind of balance training, then you may find this pretty challenging. So know that you can always reduce the number of repetitions that you're doing. So we're going to start here with 10. If you need to do 7 or 8, just because you're getting really fatigued just trying to balance there, then that is fine. All right, all of these things are modifiable, and it's just about listening to your body. So go ahead and choose your weight that you're going to start with. This is the light weight. Let's get ourselves into position. Let's just everybody start with the left leg forward, right leg back. Square your hips. Get yourself into position to reach down and grab your weight. And when you're ready, go ahead and hit your 10 repetitions. Again, if you're finding the balance really challenging, just do as many as you can without getting overly fatigued just trying to hold your balance. And move as slowly as you need to, reaffirming your core, reaffirming your feet broadening down into the floor to support you. And we're just isolating that movement, rowing just the elbow up into the rib cage, resisting any desire to twist or torque our spine. And when you're complete with those, then just take a rest, and we're going to take just about 15 seconds here before we switch sides. And we'll start to extend that rest period out as the weight gets heavier, so don't worry. All right, so go ahead and get set up to do your second side. So now you've got the right foot forward, left foot is back. Square your hips, broaden both feet, lengthen down into that back foot in particular. And then as you set your elbow down, get your core activated before you reach, and go ahead and when you're ready, begin your 10 reps on this side. Again, working to isolate that movement in the shoulder and the elbow so that the spine, the torso, the hips are all stable facing the ground. Keep lengthening down into that back foot in particular, broaden through the front foot. That will really help you with your balance by activating your feet. Okay. Good. Once you've completed all 10, or however many you got done, then come to rest. All right, and we're going to take about 40 seconds now before we move into the next side. So the next side is going to be your medium weight. This next round, I'm sorry. Well, let me back that up. If you're a beginner, true beginner, you're going with your lightweight here. If you are not a beginner, if you've had at least a few weeks of training underneath you, then move to your medium weight. So again, this is 8 repetitions. And you should feel like by the end you could do about 4 to 5 more if you had to. So let's go ahead and get set up. Again, left leg forward, right leg back. Get yourself going, hips squared, draw your core together, front of the core together, round through that upper back a little bit, and go ahead and get started with your 8 repetitions on this side. Again, resisting that desire to twist or torque, using the strength in your core muscles, stabilizing just like you did when you were lying on the floor earlier in the practice. Move. Directing that elbow to move up towards the ceiling to help pull that weight up. And then once you've finished those 8, let's give it about 20 seconds. I'm watching the clock. And then we're going to do the other side. About 10 seconds. All right, ready? And 5, 4, get yourself set up, 2, 1. Now go ahead and do your second side. 8 reps on this side. This is as much, I love this exercise. It's as much core work as it is back work, shoulder work, bicep work. This is a full body exercise. It's so good, so efficient. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. When you're done, again, take a rest. Maybe shake your arms out a little bit, shake your whole body out a little bit if you need to. All right, we're going to take a full minute from here. And again, you can take longer if you need to. So then when we start this next round, this is the heavy round. If you're my more experienced movers, it's your heavy round. If you're a beginner, it's your medium. You're somewhere in between in that journey. This might be your medium to heavy round. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. So you want to feel fully recovered to go into doing these last 2 rounds. So I say that to say that truly watch your own stopwatch if you need to. If you're still kind of breathing a little hard, feeling like you're not ready to tackle this, when I say go, give yourself another 20, 30, even 60 seconds before you start. You want your heart rate to come down and you want to feel, the effects of that last round sort of slipping off of you before you go into this next round. And it takes patience and it takes really listening to the body. But hey, those are good skills to have. So, all right, let's get set up for this round. So again, left leg forward, right leg back. Really important now to get your base nice and stable, broaden through your feet, square your hips, draw your low belly in. Round that upper back as you come forward, reach for that weight. When you're ready, go ahead. This is 5 rep max. And unless you're doing a lighter weight, then go for 7 to 8. this should start to be feeling pretty hard. Like you're working really hard, and by the time you finish the end of this, you know that you are pushing yourself to that point where if you did one or two more of these, then yeah, you'd lose form. You'd be torquing that spine or twisting or whatever. And if you have to reset your balance in between each one, that's okay. Okay? All right, once you're finished, then we're gonna take a full minute rest before we do the other side. Yeah, when I get into the heavyweight with this, I'm really having to work hard by the end of it. Just to stay balanced, my hips, I have to go, whoops, oh yeah, let me get my butt underneath me, my hips squared. Oh yeah, let me get, let me get that core engaged. And then I really have to have the courage to say, oh, I can't. And I might be slamming that weight down. As much as I'm trying not to, I might be slamming the weight down. That's okay, especially by that last rep. That's what heavy means. Again, it means I can keep my form. I may have to reset my form in between rounds. I may have to really take a breath and take my time in between rounds, but I can hold my form. But yeah, whew, I am pushing towards the edge. That's what this heavy round is. All right. And so that's why I say for beginners, true beginners, just beginning on your journey here, give yourself time to just go from a light to a medium and feel what that feels like. Give yourself a few weeks of that before you move up into the heavy weight. All right, I think that was probably 60 seconds. Let's move to the other side. Get your feet set up. This is the right foot forward, left foot back. Get your hips squared, really broaden. When you're ready, go ahead and start those 5 or 7 or 8, however many you're getting in here. Take your time, really pay attention to your form, have courage. It's a short round, so we are putting all our effort into it. Nice working, guys. So when you're finished, rest. We got one more of these. One more of these. So we're going to start in 53 seconds on the other side. Or give yourself more if you need. Okay. Now, if this were just, if this were not a single arm or single leg, we would take at least 2 minutes between rounds. Like if we were doing a 2-legged squat or a 2-arm row, we would take at least 2 minutes between rounds. Since we're switching side to side, I'm giving a little less time in between the rounds. But again, this is a subjective thing. Recovery is subjective for sure. It's all subjective. What do I say? So listen to your body, give yourself what you need. All right, here we go in 10 seconds. And 6, 5, get set up, 4, 3, 2, 1, here you go. Good. Last round on the right. And pay attention to that form, keeping your hips under you, your feet broad. Take your time in between rounds to set as you need to. Use your core, use the strength of the core. Feel that upper back round. When you're done, right here now, 60 seconds is what I'm counting before we start the second side. Take it out. You can even sit down if you need to. Whatever you need to do to rest. About 30 more seconds. This is the final round. Last round on the left. Last round entirely for the rows. Yay! 5 repetitions never felt so long, did it? All right, here we go. In 8. And get yourself set up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get going. Strong core, hips squared, butt underneath you, lengthen down into that to that back foot. Feel the strength in the back, round that upper back as you pull that elbow, up and in. Okay, if you drop the weight at the end. And it's okay if you are grunting to get it done. And when you're done, rest. And if you have a place to sit, I would encourage that. Give your legs a little rest here before we do the lunges. Nice work. Nice, nice, nice work. So you're gonna be feeling that all in the shoulder, in the back, hopefully tomorrow. So tomorrow, if tomorrow you're doing your cardio work, either your HIIT or your zone 2, I do encourage you to do some of that mobility work we did. The neck, maybe hitting a foam roller here underneath the shoulder, just rolling this area. Give yourself a little bit of loosening up before, especially around the thoracic spine here, before you try to go walk, jog, whatever you're doing for your cardio workout, okay? All right, so I'm gonna show you the lunges. All right, this is simple. Many of you may be starting with 0 weight for your light round. Same thing applies here for the light, the medium, and the heavy. So either you're a beginner, you're doing light, and then you're doing 2 rounds of light and 2 rounds of medium, or if you're more advanced, you're getting into that light, medium, heavy, or you're going light, medium, heavy. Got it? So simple with the weight, what this looks like. Just like we started in that original press that we were doing at the beginning, you're gonna hold the weight right here in front of you. That. And then you're gonna just be in this nice lunge position that we were just in, with the hips facing forward, all right? And I'm broadening through both of my feet. Now, as I lunge down, I'm sending as much weight as I can into my heel, all right? So it's just gonna be just hovering above the floor here, that back knee is just hovering above the floor. Sending as much weight into my front heel as I can, so that I'm really focusing on that glute and that hamstring in the back, really getting those engaged by trying to send as much weight into my heel and press down through my heel. Ooh, come up, okay? So, just so I'm even, I'm gonna show you on the other side. So this is what it looks like with weight. If you're not using weight, you can just put your hands on your hips, all right? And if you're really struggling with your balance, you can use a wall, hold onto a wall or something, or a chair next to you. And for those of you that are really at the beginning of this, your balance, those little muscles in your ankles and knees that help with your balance, they may be getting pretty fatigued at this point. So it's totally fine, even if you don't use it, maybe just have something close to you in case you need a little balance support here. All right, so again, I'm just gonna send my weight down into the heel. See the front heel as I lunge and come up. Lunge and come up. So think squat. Yeah. Squat is all about the glutes and the hamstring. I mean, it's everything, but it can be easy to send a lot of your weight into the front of your foot up here, and then predominantly only be working the quad. So I want you to send your weight into your heel, and send your weight into your heel as you press up, so that you're getting into this area. All right, so it's totally fine, like I said, to start without any weight here, and then start adding weight. So take a few more seconds to kind of mentally decide what weights you think you're going to use. Make sure they're close to you. And let's get set up to do the first round. So the first round, let's see. And yeah, same thing here. We're going to do 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Then we're going to do 7 to 8 on the right, 7 to 8 on the left. That's your medium weight. And then experienced movers, you will move into your heavyweight to do 5 rounds, 5 repetitions. And we'll do that right and left, rest, do it right and left again. All right, so let's get set up to go. Right foot forward. Right foot forward, left foot back, hips are square, okay? If you have the weight, just hold it right in front of your chest. If you're not using weight, you can put your hands on your hips and use your hands actually to judge that your hips are facing forward. Again, draw that low belly in, feel the rib cage lift up as you get tall. And then when you're ready, go ahead and begin your 10 lunges. Single leg squats. And that's what these really should be. So again, feel that weight moving into the heel, the front heel, especially as you come up, press down into that front heel to engage the back of the leg. Same aspect here too of broadening your feet. Even though those back toes are tucked under the ball of the foot, and the toes can still broaden and spread to help be a good base of support to help your balance here. So once you've done all 10, let's rest now for just a few seconds. And then in 10 seconds, let's move to the other side. Okay, get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left foot forward and go. 10 on this side. Again, pushing down into that heel. Back toes, back ball of the foot, nice and broad. Let that back leg be long, lengthening out of your hip. Use your core, use that belly drawing in and up to help keep you supported and to help lift you up as you come up out of that front leg squat. All right, great job. And let's take 45 seconds rest, okay? So you're gonna move into your medium round. Experienced movers, you're moving into your medium round. Beginners, you're gonna stick with your light weight or no weight round here, okay? And we're going in this next round for 8. Okay, about 20 more seconds. So, all right, go ahead and get that weight, get it up into your chest, get your feet set up with the right foot forward, left foot back, square those hips, draw the low belly in. And when you're ready, get into your 8 reps here. Again, weight going down into that front heel, press down into that front heel as you lift up. Broaden through those that back foot. Spread those back toes just like you're spreading the front toes. Using your core to support your weight and support your balance. And once you've done with those 8, just drop your weight down. Stand up, rest for a few seconds here. I'm giving you about 20 seconds rest. Then we'll move to the other side. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your weight up. If you don't already, get your feet set up. If they aren't already, get started. If you haven't already, 8 rounds on the left. Pressing down into that left heel. Keep squaring those hips, making sure you're not twerking, twisting your hips here. Use your core to hold the hips and the spine stable. Just really bending at the knees and the hips here. Good. And then once you finished, again, drop that weight, rest. I'm going to give you about 60 seconds, and then we're going to flip over to doing, if you are moving into heavy or heavy medium, that's your next round. Okay. If you've been doing beginner, 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 then this is the round where you can try adding some weight. Now, if you're getting pretty fatigued though, then what I would say is just stay with this with no weight and do as many as you can without getting overly fatigued. So these lunges like this, they're just doing them without any weight can be quite challenging. So for my true beginners, I'm gonna say to you, go at this point at your own pace. Do as many more reps as you think that you can without killing yourself. Okay, you might get into more rounds with us or you might not. So listen to your body and do what you feel like it's guiding you to do. And don't get to a point where you're feeling exhausted and you're still going. Okay, you want to stop before that. All right, I've been talking long enough. So let's get our heavy weight. Get it into position. Get ready to start again on that right leg. This is for my heavyweight users. This is your 5-round maximum. All right, maybe it's 7 or 8 if you're still trying to figure out what heavy 8 is for you. You're going to find out as you go along here. So when you're ready, go ahead and begin. Next round. And again, paying attention to your form, taking a little bit more time in between each repetition if you need to make sure that you are in form, core is engaged, feet are engaged. And you can press down into that heel as you come up. And by the time you finish this, you should really genuinely feel like, wow, okay, I could have done 1 or 2 more, but that would have been enough. All right, and then once you're done, just drop that weight. Let's give it a good 45 seconds rest from now before we start the left side. And about 15 more seconds. 10. Start to get yourself set up. We're gonna go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you're ready, go ahead and begin. Left side, heavy round. 5 maximum, 7 or 8 if you can go further. Again, watching that form, watching your breath, using your breath to support you here, grunting if you have to, shout if you have to, it's okay. It's good. Use your voice. Nice work, nice work, nice work. All right, when you're done, from now, right now, I'm giving you a 60-second rest. If you need more, again, you can take it, okay? I did this workout or version of it on, let's see, at the end of last week. It's good. Good, you might be feeling it, might be feeling it a little bit tomorrow, and that's okay. That's why it would be really good to get us at least just get a zone 2 walk or a little swim in. Something will help with the soreness that you that you should feel tomorrow. If you don't have any soreness tomorrow, then hey, you need to start adding some more weight to your workout, okay? Yeah, you know you've pushed yourself when you feel it. You're walking away like, well, I'm not that sore. And tomorrow or the next day, no soreness. My friend, you need to add more weight next time. Now, if you are so sore that it's like, oh my God, you're hurting, then yeah, you may have pushed past your limit. So again, our bodies they let us know. They really do let us know whether or not we have been stingy and we haven't pushed ourselves as far as we could. And they also let us know when we are pushing or have pushed ourselves too far. So listen to your body because it is informing you of where your edge is. It's just up to us to be honest about it. Okay. All right, let's get going on. get set up for your last round here. So get your weight. Let's go in 15 seconds. Start to get your feet in place, shake your arms out a little bit. Start to activate that core, get ready to reach up. Go ahead and reach, grab, pull up that weight, get it in position, get your feet in position. And as soon as you're ready, go ahead and begin. Last round on the right side. Again, weights going down into that heel, that front heel. Trying to take any tension in the face and in the shoulders and move it down into the core, down into the legs. Use that power, use that energy in the legs, not in your face. And after you're done with those 5, drop that weight. Let's take a good 40 seconds, and then we're going to do the last round. And I know I keep saying this, but there really is no shame in waiting longer if you need to. Okay. You really want to feel your breathing and your heart rate. Maybe they're not quite at normal, but they're pretty close before you start in on this next heavy round. And that should be your real guiding light when you're doing the heavy weight, is you want to feel your heart rate, your breathing. It's all getting close to normal. Okay, I'm not saying completely, but it's getting close. It's getting down into that low zone 2, getting down into that zone 1 area. So you may need quite a bit more time in between rounds, especially if you're just getting started or if you're tired or whatever's going on in your life. There are going to be times when you need to have more recovery, more space for recovery. And I just gave you a lot more space right there by jabbering. So here you go, last round on the left side. Here we go. Go ahead and get your feet set up, get your weight into your body, right into your chest, draw your low belly in. When you're ready, boom, 5 more on this side. Awesome. And I think we shall be finishing up. So that's good. That is really good stuff. Now, if you've got time, I would encourage you to take a few minutes to just walk before you do this little recovery exercise I'm going to give you. So you can always hit pause, come back, or just, yeah, if you can do that. Or you can go ahead and do the recovery with me and then take a walk. But after doing that much heavy weight right back to back like that, it's always good to just give yourself a little time to just move your body. So if you're going to do that, go ahead and do it now. And then come back and do this with me later, okay? While you're still warm. So for recovery, here's what I'm gonna suggest. On your back, cross one ankle over the knee, pull that knee into the chest and wrap your hands. Or you can use a towel here. You know, if you are really, really tight, you may need a towel or a band, something other than your hands, so that you can pull your knee towards your chest and still feel your butt, the back of your butt on the floor. So I don't want to pull it so far that I'm pulling my butt and my low back off the floor. All right. So we're just going to do a gentle stretch here. You can use the elbow, here to press into your thigh, the thigh that is opening, just to gently press into the thigh. And just take some breaths here. You can feel what it feels like to kind of like move the knee the thigh that you're holding, that you're pulling into your chest, and move it just to the outside of the shoulder just a little bit. That might enhance the stretch across the back of your booty there. All right, and then release and cross to the other side. Again, use a band or a towel if you need to. Just make sure that you're not pulling your knee in such that you feel like your butt and your low back are coming off of the floor. You want those things to be connected to the floor so that you're actually getting the stretch across the back of the hip that we're wanting here. So relax the back of the head. Let the neck be loose here. All the efforting is beginning to end. All right, and then uncross those. And then with your knees still bent and your feet on the floor, walk your feet out a bit so that they're on the outer edges of your hips. All right, and then we're gonna let the knees fall to one side. And you can stay here, or you can reach, so my knees are falling to the right. So I'm gonna reach my left hand down here and grasp my left foot. And then I'm gonna squeeze that left glute gently to press the left hip forward to get more of a stretch across the front of the left hip here and down into the left quads. Now, this is for those of you who are already pretty mobile. For some of you, just allowing the knees to fall to the side and just rest there may be plenty of stretch. So what I'm doing right here is an option for those who can and want to get a little more stretch across the front of that hip. Okay, so just make your way out of that, bringing both knees back to the center, and then go to the other side. Find yourself a stretch on this side. And make your way out of that. Okay, and just take a few minutes if you have them to just relax here on your back. Do whatever would feel good to you. Oh, I guess it is almost time for class to start. So I've got another class starting, so I'm gonna leave you. Hopefully you've got a few minutes, and thank you, good work today, and we will see you on Thursday.